What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premzy TV, and it's a big one. As you can see, we got a very special guest in the building. Flex from United View, Sky Sports, the man of the moment. What you telling me, my bro? You good?
Yes, we say, man. I'm good. I'm good. Am I looking forward to this game? I don't know. I don't know. It's not a happy. It's not a happy hunting ground. But I no. Do you know what? I am looking forward to it because it's another challenge for this team. It's against a top Arsenal team that are flying. So, yeah, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going to be too pessimistic, man.
Say no more, but you know what? Yeah, I was kind of hoping you guys got the little one victory yesterday. Well, to be fair, I can't lie. I wasn't really hoping you got the
Yeah,
victory, but
exactly. Don't lie.
it would have built up for a good spectacle. Obviously, old rivalry. It looks like it was getting coming back to the top, back to the forefront. But look at how it is now. You get me? Use man, we're giving it the jip. You get me? We beat Palace, then we beat Use with 3 points. Yeah, it looks like Use man have been put back in your
Well,
box.
this is
So
the
it
you
looks
see
like
what I
Yous
mean. This
man
is
have
the
been.
thing. This is the thing. Yeah, I was talking to some other Arsenal fans today, and obviously the general consensus is that all Man United fans said this. You ask anyone who knows me, yeah. You ask even Arsenal fans. I said we're not in a title race. We're not in a title
Listen,
race.
I
We're
don't know
not
about
in
you,
a
but
title race.
on Sunday, yeah, man pulled up at AFTV Studios, a big KG, yeah, pulled up giving it the lip. You get me,
Yeah,
fam? So
I cannot be held accountable for anything that man says. You know this. Yeah, he is a different kettle of fish. He said he was in the title race from about 4 games ago. So he ain't gonna
it's good
back
to have
out
that
now.
belief, though. It is good to have
Yeah,
that belief.
yeah,
It is.
exactly. And you know what? With where we're coming from and how bad we've been, I think when you beat City and you go 1 point behind them and they're considered in the
Mm,
title race, I
mm,
think that obviously as a Man United fan, you can dare to dream and say, well, if they are, then we are. You know what I
mm.
mean? But for me, it's just a game at a time. But I just want top four, and I want a style of play and identity. And we're looking like we're on task for both of them things, man. Do you know what I'm saying? There's going to be blips along the way. There's going to be big wins. There's going to be some embarrassing losses, like we have already. Got smashed
Mm,
by City, got smashed by Brentford, got beat up by Aston Villa away. But
mm.
then we've beat you at home. We beat Liverpool. We beat Spurs. Drew against Chelsea. Um,
It's a
so
bit
yeah,
of
beat
a, I
City.
think that was a bit of a false result against us. You know what I mean?
It was, bro. It weren't a false result. It's
The big
3-1,
boy
bro.
party.
You conceded three. See, and that, so is it going to be a false result on Sunday then? Because there's no Casemiro. Is that what you're saying?
Listen, yeah, this is what we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
get
mean,
into. This is what we're gonna get into. You know what? Yeah, I am gonna give Ten Hag massive credit, bro. I have actually
yeah, you
been
got it.
giving
Yeah,
United a lot of credit all season, putting all the
yeah,
joking aside. I think what
yeah.
Arteta has done, unbelievable. What Ten Hag's done in such a short space of time is being second to none, really, at United. He's transformed the team from a team that's been dead in the water for many years to a team that looks like they're all together, singing off the same hymn sheet. And you know what? He's not just only brought in good recruitments, he's also made players better that have been there over the years, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, players like that. So you got to give this guy big credit. And coming to the Emirates, I am confident, and I think every Arsenal fan
You
should be
should be.
confident
Yeah, you
about
should
now
be.
because if you're 8 points clear at the top, playing the best football in the league, you have to be confident. And I think if you spread that belief and you really believe in it, good and positive things can happen. You get me? It spreads out through the team. But look, we touched on it just a minute ago. Casemiro, he's going to be out. He got a bit of a silly yellow card, I think. I was surprised, to be fair, because he's a very experienced player. And in order for him to kind of do a mad lunge like that, he was lucky not to get a red card and didn't hold his nerve. Do you reckon this is going to be a even tougher task now that Casemiro's out? Or do you reckon players like McTominay and Fred are going to really relish the opportunity to step up and try their best to cement their place back in the team?
It's hard. It's hard for me to say that those two will definitely step up, or one or the other who will play, because Casemiro, there's no one in the squad that can give us what he's given us. He's
Mm,
transformed our midfield. He's been so influential. He's been a bit of a midfield not a bit. He's been a midfield general. Without him, our revamp in midfield just wouldn't have been the way it is. I know Ericsson's done his bit in terms of keeping the ball and being progressive with the ball, but what Casemiro has given us, can give us. So
mm,
he's a massive miss. He's as big as he's as big as a miss to us as Partey would be for you if he didn't play.
mm.
They're both as influential for their respective teams as each other. Different types of players, but Casemiro is arguably the best in the world in his position at that job. For me, and I think he's going to be a big miss. I mean, We need legs in there now. We need know-how in there. We need guile. I think Fred will come in, but is a midfield of Fred and Eriksen a little bit lightweight? Would he take out Eriksen out of that in central midfield and maybe move him slightly higher up the pitch into a 10? Put Bruno on the right maybe, so you can get a little bit of a foundation with Fred and McTominay. But I really worry about that because we've worked so hard at Man United, or waited so long, should I say, at Man United to get that midfield pivot of McTominay and Fred out and a new one in there in terms of McTominay, in terms of Casemiro and Eriksen. And now we could be faced with having to go to Arsenal with what we used to before, which is a big problem. So yeah, I think that's going to be a huge miss not having Casemiro. Massive. I can't even describe how big it is.
Fred has stepped it up for you against Man City. I think he was
Fred
one of your best players, man. Like the way he man-marked Kevin De Bruyne out the game, that was unbelievable.
He's got to do that to Odegaard. Fred's got to do that to Odegaard if we're going to have a chance of. And look, Arsenal got threats all over the pitch. You know, they're a fantastic team, just like City do. But what we did do really well against City, I agree with you there, bro, is that, you know, you've got to give Fred that particular role. But that's why not having Casemiro is even bigger, because Fred can't do it all. Yeah, he might be able to go and be a nuisance for Odegaard, or go be a nuisance on Xhaka or Partey or whoever it may be, and get about the pitch. But essentially, at Emirates, to win there away, you need more. You need your best players available. So still going to be a big arts, man.
Do you know what? I love hearing United fans talking about Arsenal like this. It's some good stuff, mate.
You just, you got to talk about it. You can't do the thing. Oh, well, you can if you want, but I'm not one of them that's going to be, Arsenal, that, you know, they're just going to implode. They'll capitulate at some stage. Well, to be fair to Arsenal, what I respect is every single question that's been labelled at their doorstep, right? They've answered it so far. They've done everything they can. Oh, they ain't played no one yet. Well, they fixed that. Oh, when Europa League starts, well, they fixed that. Oh, when they get a big injury, Gabriel Jesus is out there still firing. So, after Christmas, or after the World Cup, whatever it is that everyone labels at them. Oh, what happens when they play Chelsea away? Can they do it? Oh, you know what I mean? This team, that team, Liverpool at home. You know, you've done it. So, and you're 8 points clear for it.
To be fair, it's refreshing to hear, bro, as well. So big up to yourself, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of United fans out here that they're blinded by the hate. They're blinded by the hate.
I know.
To be honest with you, we're like that as well with Arsenal fans. With the two clubs that hate each other. This is the oldest rivalry, with the biggest venom that this Premier League's ever seen. And now that both teams are starting to pull their socks up a little bit, it seems like there's a little bit of a resurgence in there, and it is good to see, because I would love nothing more than Arsenal and United to be just going for it, hammer and Tom, year in, year out. Bet me, just imagine what the viewings would be on Sky Sports and all that. It'd be a madness again.
It'd be insane. It'd be insane, and that's what. Yeah, I don't think any of us would hate that happening. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we want. For far too long, City and Liverpool have dominated, and although we are still a way behind you, in my opinion, anyway. I think, well, obviously we're 3 years behind you in terms of the manager, but just in terms of how we play and where we are, especially away from home, we haven't mastered that yet. We've just about got our home form to be colossal. We've just about made Old Trafford a fortress again. We've beat all the top 6 there. We haven't played Chelsea there yet, but we've beat everyone else. Apart from Newcastle, actually. But,
to be fair, though, I must say, and this is not me not giving you guys credit, I think you have beat everyone in pretty much convincing fashion. But I think when Arsenal did play you at Old Trafford, you know, you say Thomas Partey is like a big miss compared, like him and Casemiro are similar. For me, I think it's a bigger miss, Arsenal not having Thomas Partey than United not having Casemiro. And the reason I say that is because we don't have a player like a Fred that can come in and do a job. We have a player like Sambi Lokonga who's just not ready for this league. And they're just not that level. And the balance that Partey gives us from defense to attack is huge. We can see the only game we've lost this season is without Partey. Even if you go stretch it back to last season, our win percentage is so much higher with Thomas Partey in the team.
Yeah. He had problems with injuries last year, and he kept getting injured.
Yeah. And if you look at that game at Old Trafford, you guys hit us on the counter, and that's where you got your goals. I personally believe, obviously shoulda, woulda, couldas, but if Thomas Partey was in that midfield, that's what his job is to do, is to cut them passing lanes and stop the transition. So it is going to be interesting to see. I would have wanted you to have Casemiro going into this game, because obviously I don't want to hear no excuses from no United fans, because I don't think Arsenal need any excuses right about now. I don't think you have won at the Emirates for a number of years.
I was just about to say that, bro. I've been holding L's there since the Millie Rock. Since the Millie Rock in the black kit in what 17, 18 was that, or was it 16, 17?
I think it's
It was
about 5
17,
years or
18.
something now, isn't it?
17, 18. And then immediately after that, or a few months after that, because I think it was in December, then I think we got to the January or the February, and then we beat you again in the FA Cup, and that's when Jesse Lingard done the moon dance, the moonwalk. After that, horrible. You know what I mean? And even if Casemiro was playing, I would still be very, very skeptical about this game because, and this is a different Arsenal. We were losing under the other Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? This is the Arsenal now, where Arsenal are back. So it will be a tough game. But at the same time, we don't know. We've not been to the Emirates with Eric Ten Hag. You know what I mean? He could have a tactical plan that really, really stifles you, and we could get out there with a draw. All we have, and listen, we have players who could win the game. This is going to be a hard game for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Some Arsenal fans I spoke to say, "Nah, wipe the floor with Man United, easy game." I don't think that. I don't think we'll get absolutely brushed like 3 or 4-0. But I do think it will be incredibly hard for us to get the W there.
No, I agree with you. I don't think you could take United lightly. I think even without Casemiro, I think the rest of the players have stepped up. And I think you'd be a fool to go into that game overconfident. We seen United yesterday go into Palace. For me, I feel like they were too overconfident. It looked like they thought they already won the game as they were walking out the tunnel.
Didn't try. Yeah,
Kind of shot themselves in the foot. So with Arsenal, I don't want us to be too confident. I want us at the same time to understand that United have developed. They are one of the informed teams in the league. I'm not saying show them respect, because I think we just need to play the way we play football. And I think we could beat anyone, to be honest, this season. But Rashford, this guy, I'm sure his debut goal was against Arsenal as well. You know what I mean? I think he loved playing against Arsenal. What do you reckon? Do you reckon this little run that's come to an end with Rashford, do you reckon this might impact him going into that Arsenal game? Or do you reckon he's going to kind of give him that motivation to try to get back on track?
Yeah, I'd like to think the more positive one, obviously. That's the first bad game he's had in a while. You know what I mean? He's been absolutely fantastic in the last couple of months, especially. But generically this season, he's been good. And then he's really kicked into form, scoring like 8 goals in a row. I think it was 8 games in a row. He's been assisting. He's been confident. And even if he hasn't scored, he's been absolutely at it, just giving fullbacks problems. Whether it's on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, or up front. Do you know what I mean? He's back. Rashford is back in terms of just being confident and being a player that he can express himself. That doesn't mean he's going to score every game and Man United is going to be amazing. But just him returning to something that even resembles a football player, because last year he was so bad. And he was just going, I think that was mentally, I think that was emotionally, I think that was physiologically, everything. He was just shot. So it's great to see him back now, and that's how good Eric Ten Hag has been for him. But against Arsenal, he's definitely a threat. Especially, I think it will help us actually. One, getting a wake-up call like that against Palace, and two, the stylistic nature of the game would actually help us, because I think we're probably more effective actually as a team that plays on the counter. But it's not like the old days of like we just sit back and then we just try and nick it. I think, look what we did against City. It was very meticulous in what we did. We actually created the better chances even playing in that manner, you know. Yeah. And I think this is going to have to be similar. I think we have to set up exactly like we did against City, maybe even a little bit more meticulous, because you guys will be on the front foot even more, because City were quite passive, but we defended really well.
You've got a different option now, to be fair. You got that Waghurst up front, or whatever his name may be.
Yeah,
so
of course,
you can
yeah.
punt it up long and try to relieve some of the pressure.
That's a tough game for him to come into. I mean, obviously it's his first game against Palace, isn't it? But he just tried to keep it neat and tidy, have a couple of little touches here or there. He's got to bed him in it. But Arsenal away, I don't know. For me personally, I'd like to see Rashford up front and Garnacho on the left. Personally,
it's a kid with no fear. He seems like a bright spark, Garnacho. I'm not going to lie. You see 100%. These United man singing "Viva Garnacho" and that.
Bruv, just took the song off Ronaldo, bruv. Just gave it straight to Garnacho, bruv. Shameless, bruv. That's how it goes.
But look. If we look into it, yeah, because obviously you could give us this answer better than anyone else. Now, I've been looking at the United team thinking, now Casemiro's out, what can they do? And one thought that's come to my mind is maybe them putting a Luke Shaw at centre-back, bringing a Malacia back in, and partnering up a Fred with a Martinez in the middle. Is that a possible outcome that United can do?
We've been talking about this, yeah, and I think I wouldn't say that's an impossible thing that Man United could do, because Erik ten Hag is a manager that has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He's a very tactical manager, and he plays the right horses for courses. You know, the reason why Martinez was on the bench and Luke Shaw started at centre-back against Man City was because he said it was tactical. He said, you know, the physicality of Luke Shaw versus Haaland, you know, the intensity of how he's playing. He said that was the right player for this job. And Martinez has been fantastic. We couldn't believe it. We thought he's definitely going to start. And that didn't happen. And also what we have to remember about Martinez is that when he first bought him at Ajax, he actually bought him as a backup left back.
Yeah.
Then he played him in central midfield. And then he fell out of favour there after doing all right, actually. And then found himself at centre back. So he's a very clever player who can play a variety of positions. That's probably why Mikel Arteta wanted him, to be honest.
100%. I was going to say that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he could play centre back. He could play a little bit of defensive midfield. He could play left back. And he would have been fantastic in the Arsenal squad. And he's been fantastic for us. So to answer your question, I don't think that's something that's impossible. But I just don't think Erik ten Hag will do it for some reason. I would, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of like a 50-50.
Yeah.
Because on the flip side of it, it's something that we haven't done before. It's something that we probably haven't worked on very long. So to do that in a matter of 3 days and then go and play against Arsenal with a totally new system, if we were to get a result with bearing in mind that the things I just said, that'll be some turnaround. I'll be shocked. I think he will go to type and go Varane, Martinez, and just put Luke Shaw left back. But then does he bring
We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. We're gonna have to wait and see. But before we get the predictions, today the breaking news has got Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. Leandro Trossard looks like he's an Arsenal player.
Move.
If we can get him in through early, he can be through the door on Sunday and be on the bench and be a part of the team. What do you make of it?
Don't see why not. Wicked move, man. I really like Trossard. Actually, I was talking to Robbie when I was laughing him. When I rang him to laugh about the Mudryk thing, actually, as I do. I said to him, bro, do you know what? You win some, you lose one, innit? It happens to us with Gakpo. But I said, you know who you should get? You should get Trossard. And you know what he said to me? He goes, nah, I don't know, man. Brighton.
Why are you trying to hot a man up for, yo?
That's what he said. No, because he said it. Because you know what? He said it on something else. He said it in public on something else. It's not something he hasn't said. Oh yeah, I wouldn't do that. But then because he actually said after that phone call, he said, because you know what? Actually, yeah. I see what you mean, actually. He'll be perfect for us. And I think he is. Not nowhere near as much money. What was the fee? What's it been?
27.
Look at that. I'll take Trossard for 27 million. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what?
He's a wicked player.
As well. You know what's good about him? Something that we haven't had since Asante Cazorla, a player that can play with his left foot, right foot, left wing, right wing, up front. You get me? And as well, he's a big game player. He scores goals in big games. And that's something that we lack. Normally, a player that in big games can grab the game by the scruff of the neck and make stuff happen. So I'm excited to see him come in. Hopefully, he can
that's a cut price, bro. That's a cut price.
Like, now we can go and buy Frank Kessie now, hopefully.
There you go.
We got the money there.
See, Arsenal, exactly. You made a bid of 88.5 million or whatever it was for Mudryk. It wasn't like you didn't put the money down. Obviously, the structure of the deal was different to Chelsea's, hence why they got him, etc., etc. But the money's there, like you said, the money's there for you in January, which is a luxury to have. So, yeah, that's a really good signing. One that actually I think you look back and say, well done, Arteta. Well done, Arsenal.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think so far, Arteta, we can't really question who he's bringing through the door. The last player that came from Brighton for us looks to be one of our best players. So hopefully, long may that continue. But look, before we wrap it up, I want to get your predictions for the game, Flex. Talk to me with your head and your heart.
Okay. So my heart says, believe in Erik ten Hag, expect the unexpected, and we can nick a 2-1 win. My heart says that. But my head says it's going to be extremely difficult. We don't control games. We nick games like 1-0 or by a single goal margin away from home. We're not big scorers. And to beat Arsenal, I think we need to score at least 2 because I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet against you. So my head says a draw.
Your head says a draw.
I'm going to go with a draw. I think it'll be a draw. I think we can get a draw.
You need to give that head a wobble first of all. That's not,
Yeah,
that's not right.
and Arsenal are favourites. And you know what, Premsy? I'm glad you said that, because obviously, you're being amicable because you're talking to a United fan. But I know you, bro. You're saying, listen, Man United light work. We're gonna dust them down, show them time what it is, show them, man, they're not in the time. I know you, bro. I know you just being
We're gonna see
amicable,
what
innit?
happens on Sunday. I'm trying to keep it humble, you know what I mean? But look,
Exactly, bro.
I'm gonna go with my
Exactly.
prediction. I think we'll keep a clean sheet, Flex. I'm not gonna lie. I don't
Yeah.
think it's one of them situations where I'm actually scared of United doing like scoring or putting a lot of pressure on us. I think if you are to get a goal, it's gonna
Won't
be
be
on the
pressure, be
counter attack
counter-attack. But you should be,
or a
bro. You
set
should be
piece.
scared against counter-attack. You should be.
Thomas Partey's in it. Gives me confidence, bro. That's, you know what I'm saying, bro. It gives
Fair
me that
enough.
confidence. But I'm gonna go with a 2-0 to Arsenal. I think that's a sensible scoreline. I think we score goals early, and if we can do that and get the early goal against United, especially what happened with Crystal
Yeah, we
Palace,
need to make sure that
I
doesn't
think it's gonna
happen.
play into the
Conceding
players' heads.
early. If
It's
we can
gonna
get to
go.
half time at 0-0 and build from there and frustrate you, and you know what I mean, play little tricks, and not as bad as Newcastle because we're better than that. You know what I mean, we've got players who really can hurt you, but our game plan needs to be astute. We will have to suffer. Your fast starters, your quick starters, you're on it. You play fast, attractive football. We need to suffer in the first 15, 20, make sure we defend properly and feel our way into the game.
Don't worry, bro. You will suffer in the first 15, 20.
I might suffer the whole game.
Are you going to the game? Have you got a ticket?
Of course, yeah, I'll be there, man.
Are you going to be sitting in the Arsenal side?
In the Arsenal. You think I can go in there? Are you mad?
I know it's a madness. But people, I just want to say to Flex again, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate you. Make sure you smash a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new. Go and check out United View. Top content, the best United channel out there. And that's coming from an Arsenal fan. You get me, people. But peace and love. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for having me.